Big breaking transfer news to bring you here on Transfer Talk. Harry Kane will be staying at Tottenham. Harry Kane, he has tweeted in the last minute. He says, it was incredible to see the reception from the Spurs fans on Sunday and to read some of the messages of support I've had in the last few weeks. I will be staying at Tottenham this summer and will be 100% focused on helping the team achieve success. Hashtag come on you Spurs. So, Michael, huge breaking news. Harry Kane is staying at Spurs.
Massive, massive breaking news. This is the clarity that everybody wanted, even Manchester City. Both clubs can move on now. Harry Kane can move on. We've been saying, haven't we, 6 days to go. Wasn't long enough for Tottenham Hotspur to get a replacement. A bid never went in, which was acceptable for Daniel Levy to ever consider. Let's say a few things here. Tottenham fans accepted from May that it was probably time for Harry Kane to move on. There was no debate about that. He's 28 years of age. He's won the Golden Boot again in the Premier League. He won the top playmaker. He's gone off to represent England. What they didn't really accept was the way things were going on. The conversations about what day he's returning to training, where is he on holiday, PCR tests, everything like that. What Manchester City bid, how much is he worth? Those were the things Spurs started to question. Then he's back into training. We were told time and time again that Harry Kane would respect Spurs, the new head coach, everything going on, and he'd be integrated into that first team. He did that. He returned to training. He trained. He was on the bench against Wolves. He came off the bench. At the end of the game, like I said yesterday, that would have meant a lot to him. Getting that reaction from the Tottenham Hotspur supporters, he's one of our own. There we go here. That would have meant the world to him. I'm telling you that right now. He's been there since he was a little boy. Tottenham fans know that he's a phenomenal striker, that he's not won anything. And it hurts him and it hurts Tottenham fans. Champions League final, he played, wasn't fit. Carabao Cup final, played, wasn't fit. They've got this out of the way now. It's time for Harry Kane to knuckle down, which he's going to do, and they've said from the start that he'd remain professional. It's time to move on, and that's what's going to happen. And I'm speaking to Nuno at 1:30.
It would be great to hear what Nuno has to say, because Nuno, I think his first news conference, he said Harry Kane was very much part of his plans. We spoke before the Wolves game because we said it's going to be absolutely crucial to see what happens in terms of whether Harry Kane is on the bench, whether he comes onto the pitch, what he does in that game. And it does seem that perhaps that was a turning point for Kane, seeing that reception, that he is very much committed to the club.
Well, there's been so much talk over the last few months and then weeks, and ultimately it's all been speculation because we don't know the conversations that have happened between Harry Kane, between the owners, between Daniel Levy, and also between himself within his own group and his camp as well. He has come back. There was so much talk around that first game against Manchester City. He wasn't included in the matchday squad. People were forgetting that he'd come back quite late. There was talk about the first day of training when he didn't turn up. People were forgetting that he'd been on international duty at the Euros with England, and it feels like everyone has been talking around this, and now finally we have some clarity, as you said. My only worry and my only question possibly to you, Michael, is Tottenham fans, that was a small selection of them at Wolves just there. The whole fan base, do you think that Harry Kane can win them on side? What has he got to do to win them on side?
150% yes. Spurs play tomorrow night in the Europa Conference qualifier. Don't know if he's going to play in that. I think he might now because he needs to build up his match fitness. I am telling you, he's going to get the most brilliant ovation. Remember, I've said this, and Monday we will play it out on Good Morning Transfers. 60,000 belting out. He's one of our own. Remember, a gentleman's agreement means nothing when it's not written down, OK? A gentleman's agreement means nothing if the club who want to buy him don't put an acceptable bid in. Dimitar Berbatov went for massive money on deadline day to Manchester United. Luka Modric didn't get his move to Chelsea, eventually got it to Real Madrid. Gareth Bale went for a world record signing, but on the bottom right of your screen there says 6 days to go. That would not have been enough. And it would, as I've said, day and day, that value gets higher as the days get shorter. Tottenham's season, in my eyes, would have been over because they wouldn't have had time to replace him. Harry Kane isn't one player. He's two, he's three. He's a creator. Even when he came on against Wolves, he wasn't match fit, but he still made a difference. And this is massive news for Tottenham. Of course, the implications of Manchester City, yeah, sure, they look like they needed him, but everyone's got to move on now. This is good.
You sound excited, Michael.
Yeah.
Sounds slightly excited.
Just a little.
It's just nice not to talk. It's going to be nice not to talk about it.
You mentioned City there. We'll get that perspective in just a moment. But I just want to bring Jess in because, Jess, you've been around the England camp. You were working very closely with them during the Euros and very close with Harry Kane. And we talk about the fact that he is such a professional. I just want to know what your kind of first-hand experience of him is, and do you expect him, what do you expect to see from him going forward here? Because, as far as I can gather, he is such a professional.
Yeah, what a revelation this actually is. Does this mean we can finally stop talking about Harry Kane? Probably not. But I think it was pushing towards this, wasn't it? After he did that massive interview with Gary Neville, he kind of dropped the mic and walked away and left us all to speculate and for rumours to circulate. And then in the last few days, I should say, he started to be a bit more active on his social media, posting pictures of himself in training with the Spurs team, showing the fans that he's possibly not shirking away from his responsibilities, even though they know that he wanted to take a move away. And you mentioned the young England squad, and I was lucky enough to be in and around that camp during the Euros, and every single player I spoke to about Harry Kane, the first word they said was leader. The second word they used was professional. He does everything by the book. And I think that was what surprised so many people about the way this played out. If he's so professional, why was he not at training when the teams came back after the summer break? But look, this is perfect timing, particularly for England and Gareth Southgate. The squad is announced tomorrow for that England team. They've got 3 important World Cup qualifiers coming up. And the match against Hungary, their opening qualifier of the new season, is next Thursday. So this is all ideal. We know now what Kane is going to be doing. We know where he's going to be. He will be focused on the job at hand now at Spurs. So I think Gareth Southgate, as well as all the managers and clubs involved, will be very happy with this decision, Joe, and the way it's played out today, rather than waiting any longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wonder, from the City perspective, as you touched on, Michael, because where does it leave them with, Tuesday is deadline day?
Yeah, we look at Manchester City, the position they're in. 6 days to go until that deadline does come to a close. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few days and if City did have a plan B or if they're happy with the squad, the incredible squad that they've got.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just to recap that news, Harry Kane is staying at Tottenham. He has tweeted, he says, it was incredible to see the reception from the Spurs fans on Sunday and to read some of the messages of support I've had in the last few weeks. I will be staying at Tottenham this summer and I will be 100% focused on helping the team achieve success. Stay with us. Plenty more coming up on Sky Sports News regarding that news that Harry Kane is a Tottenham player.